Before skyscrapers, there was heat, and in the gardens, moist air. Before any of this, there was the limited idea of sentence. We found hermit crabs fucking the clams until all the pearls loosened themselves onto the ocean floor. We found entire beached whales pressing on the beaches until the indentation of their bodies created a snow angelic form. The one time we stopped looking beyond the traffic, we could finally see our two faces situated beneath the embers of streetlights. This light dwindles into discord. We could inform ourselves into knitted funeral costumes the way we did in ocean towns. This building can be the same as the granite street where we found ourselves more deciduous trees. Drape earth masks like death sheets over the hardwood floor. He never loved another person the way he loved the ceramic washing bowl she hid underneath her bed. Hermes Trismegistes brought the emerald tablets to the alchemists. He wanted to turn slaves into gods. The alchemists, blinded by materialist principles, decided they would turn lead to gold instead. At the center of the earth, they surmised, is a storehouse, wasteland of precious metals. The trick is to get to the center of the earth without getting stuck there. Venus is the Viking planet. Mercury is where Hermes lives. The sun creates lighthouse. Now we hear the locomotive behind us. It is a winter sun mixing with a truant storm. It keeps the path predecessor to gangplank rupture. With lack of glass, we come up. No more glue to paste sun to sky. No more slang talk. We can be in the same rule book if we take one word out and give some space to grieve the sky, to torch 5 songs, no songs. The day we left our trace, we moved our souls to a place we can speak to.
What?
Memory like a lost amulet, subject at the bottom of a hill. Memory like I miscarried my child, subject running through my head over and over again. Memory in the promised land, subject destroyed any chance for peace. Memory like the crown who finds an heir, subject like the distance appropriate. Memory played the whole night through, subject had no benches. Memory hadn't come up with anything yet, subject like the pleas of black-clad dancers. Memory like a hall that leads through to the courtyard, subject put his weapons on a pyre. Memory stayed at 5-star hotels, subject like the shady path leading up to the dome. Memory conveniently having a reunion, subject becomes accidentally in a stranger's body. The map on her bedroom wall slowly slides down. Those countries hate her, as though Genghis Khan redrew her forest with leaves from Outer Mongolia, placed pigeons outside the bedroom door, a collection of skyscrapers. But first, Mongolia, vanish. Multiply your beaches for our swimmings. Helena parked her car on the other side of the street. Jezebel, pick up your wands. Ego function. To protect one's own shield, you must learn to live longer than anyone who has ever lived. Spiral leap to the equator. My birth mother had pigtails when she nervously graveyed the outer limits of the cesspool. Pure, impure principles. A shot glass catching fire. The way we bend ourselves into trigger poses. This magazine stand, that magazine stand, this magazine stand, that magazine stand. It makes sense to choose one's teacher carefully. They are lined in rows. It's easier to see them. Once you pick your candidate, the rest fall to rot. I chant your name and Rosemary fixes her steel gaze out the window. Don't confuse obedience to your teacher with childish dependency. This happens all the time. How they cower at the feet of their gods and give in to the wishes of every charlatan who awaits them. Here is a lampshade figurine, the causal body and its seeds. I cloud-fucked, she pregnant ushered forth, and the birds enter honeysuckles, and we hold our baby's breath tired. We hold the surfacing, before each wave surfacing, this cloud fuck, like joint delivery. For example, if Cicero and Ronald Reagan, grandfather clocks, set their timers, if we brought back the chairs we stole from the Colosseum, for instance, if we exchanged crow feathers for lanterns, if we pulled the ozone layer down upon the floorboards, if the display of amber necklace and sackcloth diminished under golden lights. The pressure of seed already present. Snowy eucalyptus birthed almighty. Each evening, jars of chemicals. Rows of cottonwood. A scholar's lock of hair. Mercury arrives with 2 cocks. A tree grown from ashes. A grape-like fruit with stars from the work. The division of America and the continent of Osiris outside the carpet barn. The elder youth has grown and generational shadows rest under the grasses outside the stadium. The infant's body in the leafy greens, a scientist's open-mouthed water wheel. The song has several antlers, and all the gods of the harem yard are prepared to carve into the last dancer a stately tree. The tallest deer's hooves are submarines. She spits her last liver into the harem mug. The leafy moon trades its eyes for a plastic vulture tree. Luna, who governs all things moist, releases germs and toiled gods who run through the forest singing solitude prayers. A sorry private feast in the mountains, where we sat last night and divided our children into 3 necessary serving spoons and wrote a testimony that we wouldn't sit in the backyard of the cemetery. Every roof has a ledge where the dead are peeled off and propped up next to a soldier cardboard cutout doll, better grown into the seldom refrained cutout of America and Jack the Ripper. How alike they are in the sudden dance, how dismal the hoopla of 2 ancient things combusting. Each family defended itself to make crickets and tide pools. And here we have the sound Z, which is the last letter, whose written scribe is an apple on the back of an ancestor's sex pit. The first thing the ancestor noticed was how the word young can be considered a noun, and how to have a family was not a word. A virile member of the eternally repeated word. This family, Macadam Street, where carriages park. The same principle for all love to the masculine and law to the feminine ancestor. A word dome where they make words drawn out well beyond their original intent. The verb natra, to be born, means to acquire a knot or a vessel. I, Janice, and you two-headed, a tale of the American transition, how to make clay jars from steel pots, how to marry the weather, and Janice lived mourning to miserable neighborhoods. Closed garden. Everyone is kept away from the entrance by thorny reeds, for inside are the intestines of the largest mammal. A sea creature known only by the harmony confused with the second, or implicit, reference to an outside observer. Closed garden, a gilded stamen that must be protected from womb afterthoughts, where the scattered is seed, is scattered. Thank you.